เอาละเราจะจบมหาคามแล้ว6 ชั่วโมงแบบนี้ก่อนจะจบดูซิสเกลวิกโอ้ยวิวแล้ว
Frostbite, you'd best avail yourself of some onion juice. Even better if you had a wee nip of vodka. Oh, snorters are frozen solid, and not just those in my beard. I got my nose too. Once we're neath carbon, we'll find our way to the tavern, set our arses down by the fire, and sit mugs of mulled wine. Snorters are frozen solid, not just those in my beard. My upper nose too.
As Meave neared Langbridge, she ordered her bugler to announce her arrival, then retired to her tent to freshen up. Gascon was already inside, awaiting her.
I do not seem to recall summoning you.
In that case, I must tell you to fret not. Nothing wrong with your memory. I've come with no agenda. Spontaneously, call it, to chat.
Then I propose you leave, just as spontaneously, call it. I must don fresh clothes. I'm to see the elder soon, and I'd prefer to not smell of horse sweat.
Doubt it'd make much difference to him. And be assured, I know what I speak of. When last we met, I found myself standing downwind of him. A pungent experience.
Well, you were saved the experience of his breath. So pungent I thought I might faint.
Well, to revive you, pinch you awake, I'm sure would be quite a pleasure.
Gascon, I beg your pardon. Ugh, I shall have nightmares now.
Not tonight. For I fear you might not sleep at all. You see, there's something you ought to know. And decidedly before you meet with Bruver. The sites we cleared of beasts, I ferreted a bit. Noted something peculiar. Any notion what it was?
None. The monumental dwarven architecture, perhaps?
Bones, my dear Meave. Dwarven bones. Now, guess what I found on them?
Wait, don't dare give me any hints. Bite marks.
Of course. After all, they'd been gnawed clean of all flesh by monsters, incidentally making it quite easy to spot other markings. Ones made by axes and swords. To be certain, I showed the bones to our medics, and they confirmed my conclusion.
Meaning what? That the entire clan, the Fuchses,
did not perish due to an invasion of beasts from the depths. The monsters merely ate the bodies and occupied empty homes. Now, I shared my discovery with Gabor, and guess what he did? He panicked. He started to squirm, babble nonsense. I wager my right arm, he's hiding something.
Blast. Overly eager to aid us from the start he was. I might have sensed something. I shall have him summoned at once. And I thank you, Gascon. I won't forget this.
Minutes later, Gabor stood before the Queen. At first, he tried to mislead her with evasive answers, but as her pointed questions demolished one clumsy excuse after another, he had to give in.
Hoy. As King Desmond said after a hefty squirt in his hose, we can't sweep this under the rug.
If you think I welcome jests in this moment, you err. My fingers itch to summon the hangman.
Right. So... 'Tis true. I misled you. On our clan elder's orders, supposed to make sure you destroyed Burr's Rump and Davor's Abyss thoroughly enough to leave nae a trace.
What? Why? What did they wish to hide?
They was home to the Fuchses, our mortal enemies. They'd been a-boiling our heinies for ages, thumbing their noses, taking what they want when they want, and the Elder-in-Chief didn't gie a ploughing whit. So to stop them, our clan, we did the unpardonable. The Ziggurat elders saw their chance and they...
Gods. So you were responsible for the deaths of all those dwarves?
Me? I didn't raise a finger. Tried to stop them, in fact.
No witnesses survived, meaning you must have murdered the entire clan. How?
Queen, you sure you...
I am. And you should be sure to answer in full, omitting no detail.
A few years back, we got pummeled by a horrendous winter. Stone-breaking frosts, whiteout storms, avalanches. Made travelling a painful form of suicide. Hunger drove beasts out of their dens. Pass was covered in the filth. Got to where they paced right outside the walls. Fuchses fought a hard, bloody fight to keep the critters out of Davar's abyss. Lost near every axe-wielding dwarf they had. Only survivors had to winter at Burr's Rump. Our elders felt such an opportunity wouldn't knock again. After killing the town's meagre guard, they set fire to it and barricaded the gates. They didn't stand a chance.
Bastards. How in the world did the truth go undiscovered?
Once it were over, our dwarves opened the gates. Before they'd lit their pipes, starving beasts came crawling out of the pass. The stank of dead flesh were strong. Zigrins who came back from that never were the same. If you'd only gandered their gaze when they had us all take a vow of silence. And then...
You invented that blarney about primeval monstrosities the Fuchses had awoken by mining too deep. A riveting tale, and one with a moral to boot.
Aye. But the elders worried Brewer would suspect something all the same. That's why they wanted you to destroy all the evidence.
Repugnant. You claim not to have taken part, but neither did you do anything to stop the massacre.
What was it to do exactly? The elders had decided. No dwarf would listen to me.
You might have informed the Elder-in-Chief. The guilty would have been punished.
The guilty? You didn't ken Brewer. He'd punish the whole clan. Women, children, no exceptions. Maeve, Queen. I'm begging you. He canna ever learn of this. Aye, I want a hack flame too when I think what the Elder's done. But t'other way it'd bring but more pain and death.
I need to consider what's right. Meanwhile, Gascon, make sure Gabor remains our guest.
Of course. I'll let you know if he so much as rolls his eyes towards an escape route.
Brewer stood by the bridge like a statue, arms crossed, eyes squinting. Maeve sighed inside. She stood little chance of having a pleasant chat.
Elder-in-Chief, sir.
No Sharon and Grayson here, lass. Ploughing humans. Always out to fix things, always end up cocking them up. You think you're due glory, do you? Monster Slayer Maeve? Patroness of dwarves? Blast it. What do you think? Why didn't I exterminate those beasts myself, eh? Go on, tell me.
For you.
For I didn't want to. For something didn't fit, damn it. So I resolved to not destroy their nests and evidence till I learned the truth of who done it.
Postponed it all those years expressly. Though your subjects were dying.
I didn't need no lectures from the likes of you. Justice must be served. That's worth any price. And I was close. Had leads. And now it's all gone to hell. You flooded Devore's abyss. You brought Burrow's rump down on itself. And I'll never ken who killed the Fuchses. Understand? Never!
My sincere apologies. I did not know.
Course you didn't. Humans. First they cock it up, then they ask how it works. Ah. most eager to give that braid of yours a yank and kick you out beyond the gate. But I canna, for the clans are grateful to you. Fools, fools, all fools. They forced me to give you an audience, official like, with witnesses, all at the foot of Mount Carbon. Come on then, time to move on. But I'm going to wring you out so hard you'll wish you never left that Nilfgaardian dungeon.
Bruver set off at a brisk pace, cursing under his breath. The Queen took a deep breath, counted to 5 in her head, and set off after him.
Stomp, jump, in order it. Stomp, order it.
Wanted to hunt monsters, eh? Oh, Elder's furious. Spits flying 10 feet. Let humans neath cardboard. Dinna ken if that's wise. Let humans.
Dwarves demonstrate innovative thinking in many domains. Metallurgy, engineering, architecture. Yet there is one in which they could not be bothered. Naming. For this reason, the bridge that linked the Mahakham Pass with Mount Carbon was simply named Langbridge. Meave learned it was a thoroughly fitting name. Having stopped for a breath halfway across the road suspended over a deep chasm, the Queen could see neither end of the bridge, both concealed by thick clouds.
Amazing.
Whispered the Queen.
I feel as though we traversed the very sky.
The Queen and her retinue were nearing Mount Carbon when Meave heard a cry. It was Xavier.
Hold! Hold!
Meave drew in her reins abruptly. Her mare neighed and reared, lifting the Queen above her formation of men. From that height, she saw the last pier of the bridge crumbling. The dwarves at the head of the procession were unable to stop in time and plummeted, screaming into the abyss.
What's the meaning of this, gods damn it?
Bruver roared.
Fetch the engineers, now!
The Queen was striving to calm her spooked mount when she sensed something swish past her ear. Out of nowhere, a Scoia'tael band had appeared at the rear of the column. Before anyone could react, elven archers had felled the rear guard. The soldiers lay on the bridge's stone surface with arrows in their backs. Meave was trapped. In one direction lay the chasm, in the other, a fierce foe. She had no choice but to stand and fight.
กลัวที่ไหนเล่า
You are mine.
We're trapped, Your Grace, but we can try and fight our way through.
Nay, dwan fe cemest.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Special prize, just for you, love.
Left, right, left, right.
Naturally. At once.
show me the coin or sod off.
Mahakham! Think you ballbags can do whatever the devils you please? This is Mahakham!
Sod it all.
Riot!
Fear not. We shall achieve our goal.
Aye.
As you wish, milady.
I was hoping you'd say that.
This could hurt.
God save the Queen!
To the last!
Company! Forward march!
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Again and again and again.
None shall tread on us!
Something from nothing? It's exactly what I do.
Tell me you jest.
Let us sing the song of steel!
We must trust each other.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Their strength combined, the Lyrians and dwarves managed to defeat the Scoia'tael. The guerrillas had weakened the last span of the bridge, turning the crossing into a deadly trap. Had Xavier, who noticed the weakened structure at the last instant, not called out, all would have fallen into the chasm. The Lyrians managed to capture the unit commander. She stood, her head raised high, and when Meve glared at her, she did not avert her eyes.
What is your name, elf?
Abayeth Metaparstwan.
She said,
Thank you, Reynard. I know well what she said. Kiss my arse, is that truly the best you can muster?
I'd rather show you exactly what I can muster. Tell them to unbind me.
You got your opportunity. On the battlefield. Will you not tell me what they call you? Fine. It's all the same to me. I'm more interested to know how you came to be here. Who sent you?
No one. It was my decision to kill you, and thus avenge Eldain. You've elven blood on your hands. The blood of the elves of the Moulderwood.
I regret the events of the Moulderwood. I did not wish those elves' deaths. Yet they left me no choice.
What choice would you give a murderer who invaded your home?
You know I envy you. To see the world solely as black or white, it must simplify things so. Enough. I've heard all I wish to hear.
But I haven't. Did you fall in your heed, elf, eh? If you want to fight humans, go on and do it. You cannot talk sense to idiots and nay here, damn it. Mahakham is and will be neutral.
You cannot be neutral. To Dwan, you are either their foe or their dog. Mahakham has stood aside, sleeping long enough. That is why we struck it in its very heart, as a call to battle. A call to brethren whom you, Elder, have kept from the world too long.
I have kept him away. I've been bloody right to do so. You want to play at war, you numpties? You want to force the Pontar to flow upstream? Gang right ahead. Good riddance, I say. Gan kill, gan die if you fancy. But God's damn it, leave us alone. Yeah, I should kill you. With my own hands. I should cut your throat, put you out of your misery. That's what you want, innit? To die? To die a stupid death? Well, I'll not grant you that. Nay, nay, I'll lock you in a tower. Sit there 3 centuries, and you just might grow a brain.
Bruva Hoog gazed after the shackled elf as she was led away. Meve expected him to continue fuming, cursing her. But the dwarf stood silent. And his old eyes, half concealed by brows bushy as a forest floor, showed not anger, but the deepest sadness. Dwarven engineers made quick work of repairing the crumbled bridge span.
Look, Mount Carbon.
Damn! And I thought Novigrad was big.
เอ้าพังเลยอะไรเนี่ยเอาเด็กท็อปนะครับแอบเห็นเด็กท็อปไปวูบหนึ่งเล่นต่อได้ไหมเนี่ยเล่นต่อไม่ได้เป็นงอนเลยนะเนี่ยโอเคนี่ตกใจโอเคการ์ดใหม่ Crow something นี่ Crow Eye ก็บอกว่าใช้คอมโบแกสกอน
Look, Mount Carbon.
Damn. And I thought Novigrad was big.
So the elves are against us. Against our elder. Treacherous hounds. Truth be told, I supported the Scoia'tael afore. No, I wish every last one of them dead. Dead! Long-eared bastards. Raising our own saplings against us in rebellion. Sowing unrest. Violence. In the mountains. Long-eared bat.
Yeah, it's enough.
The Lyrians stepped inside Mount Carbon's bowels. Neve rode while looking upwards, admiring the intricately carved ceiling, gilded walls, monumental bas-reliefs carved from basalt. Yet this was no time to admire the sights. Bruverhoog had summoned her to speak.
I thank you for your invitation, Elder.
My invitation? Choice term, lass. You wangled your way in here. Long I've lived, but ne'er have I seen a wench so stubborn.
With all due respect, do you not feel like a pot conversing with a kettle?
Ha! True enough. Changes of mind didn't come easy to me, but they do come at times. Human wars concern me not at all. For so many they are, who could count them? A year goes by without one wanking king invading another's realm. A dog with scabies is less restless. That's why this morning I aimed to send you off with nothing. Mattered not what the clans were saying. Rivia, Schmivia, who gives a sheep's fart? But that was this morn, before that daft wench and her pups attacked. Nilfgaard supports the Scoia'tael, it's common knowledge. Nilfgaard uses them. Well, I'm nae worse, and I choose to use Queen Meve.
So what use would you make of me, if I might ask? You've a plan?
Aye, the kind dwarves like best. Simple, but sneaky. Like to give Nilfgaard a warning, you ken. If you're going to rile my dwarves, throw 'em into the Scoia'tael ranks. You'll regret it, aye? But I'd like to issue the warning without declaring war. All clear to you so far? So, when you march out of Mahakham, you'll find a company of our foot dwarves waiting out with the gate. Officially, volunteers enlisting with you against my will. And you're to put them at the fore next time you face Nilfgaard. Want the Blackclads to break their teeth on our bucklers, get a taste of our axe blades. After that, dare say they'll think twice before they send more Scoia'tael into these hells.
I do not... Thank you, Elder. You restore my hope that I shall have my home back in the end.
Candid like, I dinna share your faith. I've watched you. You're naive. Let ire take you. Meddle in matters near your own. Disrespect our custom. But you win or nay, it's all the same to me.
Then I hope that I shall at least surprise you.
Honestly doubt that. So you'll only get the bare minimum recruits to make the Imperials take note, and nae a dwarf more.
And for that I am grateful. But now, I would like to march at once. So by your leave...
Go, ride! Now if you can. Quicker you get out of our mount, the better.
Without waiting for Meve's reply, Bruver turned his back to her. The Queen left without saying a word. There were few choice ones burned on her lips. Meve was on her way back to her company when who should step in front of her if not Gabor?
To what do I owe this pleasure? Do the Zigrins wish to use me once more? Accomplish aught else with my aid?
Could be, but if so, 'tain't none of my concern.
Why's that?
For I've resolved to leave Mahakham for all time.
And where will you go?
Dinna ken. Wherever you lead me.
I beg your pardon.
Your Grace. Meve. I betrayed your trust. tricked you outright. In spite of that, you kept my confidence, risking everything. To say I'm grateful is just a wee understatement. I'm indebted to you, deeply so. Please let me pay it off. Let me fight at your side, hate to hit with you.
Gabor, vindictive I am not.
Oh, thank you, Maeve.
Yet neither am I stupid. You may join our ranks, I agree. Yet trick me once more, in the tiniest manner, and I shall show you no mercy. Is that clear?
Chastened, Gabor merely nodded to confirm. Maeve extended her hand for the dwarf to kiss as a sign of submission. Yet he simply wrapped his arms around her waist and squeezed. The Lyrians were ready to leave Mahakham when they heard the sonorous blast of a commander's horn announcing the arrival of Bruverhoog.
Oh, what does he want now?
When she saw a sour grin on his face, Maeve knew the tidings were not good. But what she heard next exceeded her wildest expectations.
Come to say farewell? No need, truly.
Came 'cause I got a burning question. Maeve, you expecting anyone?
How's that?
Runner says a delegation's arrived at Carmen. Illyria and Rivia got a Nilfgaardian escort.
How dare they? Traitors. Who leads it?
You'd best sit.
Who leads the delegation?
It's your son, Willem, I fear.
Willem.
Mahakham remains neutral as regards all your squabbles. I trust I needn't remind you. So I'll have no scrambling or shoving, and certainly no bloodshed. Point of fact, I'd prefer it if you...
I wish to speak to him.
I'd forbid you, but, as I said, never seen a more stubborn wench. Alrighty then, jabber away with him. Just remember, hands to yourself.
Maeve spotted banners, a Lyrian eagle upon one surrounded by Nilfgaard's black rags. Her hands became fists, showing how helpless she felt. Then her son and rival, Willem, emerged from behind a row of Imperial footmen.
My. I should apologize. It seems I missed the coronation. Congratulations, my son. Who was it who placed the crown? General Epdahi?
Count Caldwell.
Ah, yes. Our elder statesman. Why have you come here, of all places? To acquire arms for Nilfgaard?
As my official mission, yes. Yet unofficially, I wish to speak with you. I trust you've had tidings from the field. Edirn turned to ash and dust. Vizimir murdered Redania in chaos. Faltus forced to strike a pact by his vassals betrayed, Henselt the same.
This limerick, will it come to a point?
Why, yes. To the same as this war. Mother, I beg you, you must see it. Nilfgaard's victory is inevitable. Surrender now, and I shall show you mercy. For later it'll be too late.
There will be no later. We shall repel them, drive them south at the points of our pikes.
This we, Mother? Who precisely do you mean? You stand alone.
An impression many might have indeed. Yet I've allies. Those long loyal, and those new.
Where, Mother? In Zerrikania? For here, in the north, why, there are none. The fight is done.
Your friends from Nilfgaard will learn that is simply not true, when their ignorance bites them in the arse.
So you aim to persist? Whatever for?
For our freedom. For independence.
Curious. I could have sworn it was for your ambition, to soothe your wounded pride. When I was crowned, a fact you deride, though that makes it no less true, I swore the good of my subjects would guide me. And a war we are doomed to lose cannot in any way benefit them.
And slavery can. You know well the Blackclads put peasants in chains, like cattle.
Reprehensible, I agree, but...
And resettlement? Forced labour? Cruel laws that make death the punishment for the slightest offences? Are those benefits? Well, answer me!
I see I will not sway you, Mother. A shame, though I take comfort in the fact I tried. And now, adieu.
Oh no, I, not you, will decide when this conversation is over.
Oh, have we anything else to discuss?
Are you perhaps aware that the Nilfgaardians tried to kill me?
What? No, I heard only about an avalanche.
Which tumbled down through no small effort of an Imperial envoy.
Never would I have agreed to such a heinous act.
I believe you.
I'm heartened that, despite all we...
I believe you because I believe the Nilfgaardians wouldn't ever have asked your opinion. Think on it, son. Are you their ally or their tool? Can you ever be sure?
I am the King of Lyria and Rivia. To serve my subjects' best interests, I am prepared to make even the most painful concessions. Might I leave now?
Naturally. How did you know you would find me here?
I received Nilfgaardian reports to the effect that you've been seen in the pass.
Oh, roses are red and so are your cheeks, my son. As ever when you're caught in a lie. Lyria is 2 weeks' travel hence. Had you received word only once I was here, we'd have been long gone from Mahakham by the time you assembled a force and completed the march. No. You were forewarned of our intended route. It means I've a traitor in my ranks. Another one. Get out of my sight, villain. And pray we only ever face one another on neutral ground.
Maeve struggled inside not to turn and gaze once more at her son. He'd changed since they'd last faced each other, grown manlier, and he wore the crown well. The Queen returned to her company. Her advisors shot her questioning glances, curious what she had discussed with Bruver. But Maeve decided to keep the details to herself. One of them wore a Nilfgaardian lead around his neck. Until she knew who, she would have to remain vigilant.
Time to march on. But in which direction?
I've thought on it, Your Grace. We've strength enough to hit the foe, but still not the numbers to face him in open battle.
So what do you propose?
This war we cannot win alone, nor even with the dwarves at our side. But if we secure a victory, small yet symbolic, we shall show the other realms of the north all is not yet lost. Thus, I propose we attack behind the front lines, somewhere well clear of any major Imperial force.
Where would you suggest?
I'm considering Angren. To begin with, a thickly wooded marshy land, always helpful in clandestine operations. Secondly, the land strategically important, as it's the chief source of building material for Nilfgaard's fleets.
All too little, I fear. Since we require a victory that would be symbolic, we must strike where it shall hurt. And Angren...
Just recently welcomed a new regent, in the person of Count Coldwell. My third argument. Naturally, if Your Majesty wishes, I'm prepared to present alternatives to this.
No need. We march at dawn.
Maeve had toiled, cajoled, persuaded, and gained the dwarves' support. She left Mahakham strengthened, markedly. Even so, the Queen was in a foul mood. For it was clear a traitor, a viper, nested among the Lyrians. Someone who had conveyed the Queen's plans to her foe. From this moment on, Maeve would need to weigh every word she uttered, even in the presence of her closest associates.
Your Grace, we must plot our course forward. Shall we take the western passage into Angren, or...
Not now.
When, then? Dawn approaches, yet we know nothing of where...
I will not repeat myself.
The Queen knew she would learn the traitor's identity in the end. If need be, she would tear the name from the throat of another turncoat, Count Caldwell. Maeve drooled at the prospect of seeing Caldwell in chains, then passing him to the hangman.
Saddle the horses. I shall take the fore.
The time for diplomacy, for preparations and negotiations had gone. Maeve was to attack her foe at last, and she could not wait to do so. At long last, Maeve's force reached Angren's marshy woods. Ever been? No? Count yourselves lucky.
Are you certain we haven't lost our way?
Alas, here there is no way. We continue south, that's all.
South meaning the bottom.
Should you ever venture there, I offer you this advice. Do your utmost to make no noise. Poor soul. His comrades cried out, reached out, but alas, amidst frothing waters they heard bones cracking, the moan of metal bent and crushed.
What the bloody hell, what was that?
Rather not know, personally.
Hold your positions! Arms at the ready!
It was a glusty war. One of many the Lyrians would encounter along their path. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. At last, Meve and her force stood upon the Yaruga's bank. To find and punish the traitor Caldwell, they would have to cross the river. Yet the sole bridge nearby was in Nilfgaard's hands.
Your Majesty, some new reports require your attention.
What's up? Shit, how you do?ไม่เห็นจะดีเลย
Yes, Your Grace?
Reynard, you fought in the first war against Nilfgaard, did you not?
Yes, Your Grace. Though, as a mere captain then.
Were they equally cruel? Did they scorch fields, turn peasants into slaves?
Nay, Your Grace. They fought with honor in those days.
So, what's happened? Why the change?
It's said Emperor Emir var Emrys's heart hardened over the years. He's grown crueler, more ruthless. His soldiers' zeal for violence has followed suit.
But you don't say that.
No, Your Grace.
To your mind, why do they now despise us as they war against us?
'Tis ever easier to loathe those you know. Before the first war, they knew nothing about us. Then they saw they'd the better weapons, larger cities, superior craft. That in our towns, waste flowed through the streets in open gutters. And they concluded we weren't their equals. It's far easier to kill when one holds such a belief.
It's time I attended to other matters.
Hey ho, how's my favourite queen in the north?
Ever have regrets? Feel remorse?
For what?
Oh, I don't know. Killing innocents, perhaps? Murdering travellers, pilgrims?
I've always warned them. Won't touch a hair on your heads, provided you don't resist. So, see, gave them a choice. Besides, innocents? Please, Maeve. We both know those to be mythical creatures. Everyone's got something on their conscience.
So there's always call for murder?
That's right. Dead right. You need but answer it.
It's time I attended to...
Always good to see the Queen. How can I help you?
We haven't had a chance to speak since we left Mahakham. Why join us? Or decide to leave your homeland, for that matter?
As I said, I was in your debt. Still am.
You're a dwarf of honor, I'm pleased. But not entirely convinced 'twas reason enough for you to leave your clan.
Not about to let me off easy, are you? All right. I may have been motivated elsewise.
By a guilty conscience?
The horridness with the Fuchses. All that blood and mud. It went too far. I tried to talk it out with the elders. They brushed me aside like a wee bairn. But that weren't the whole of it. I saw the shite dwarves living in your cities go through. Thought I'd forget once I came home. Got back to dealing with my own problems. Only... can't I forget something like that? I've got to help. Any way I can. Nothing would come of my sitting on my arse in Mahakham.
I understand, Gabor. And I know you'll find a way to help. We shall return to this conversation later.
No skin off my back. Be seeing each other, Your Grace.
Yes, my lady?
I haven't had the opportunity to thank you. Had you not been so alert, we'd have fallen to our deaths in Mahakham.
I merely did my duty, Your Majesty.
Modest as ever. Yet once the war is over, I shall make certain you're properly rewarded.
My lady, the one reward I desire is victory. Your victory.
Other matters await my attention. We shall speak later.
As you wish, my lady.
You need my help with anything? Anything at all? I've ideas aplenty.
Ever travelled with an army before?
Frankly, can't say that I have. You folk are my first. And let me say, it's not nearly as dull as I expected. Your travelling companions are fascinating, truly.
Is that so? Who, if I might ask?
Let me think. Then there's that aged woman. Isabel, is it? Oh, Your Grace, a complete lunatic, that one. Did you know she believes the world to be round? Round! Like an egg! And just between the two of us, the quiet chap, Xavier, gives me the willies, truth be told. Could just be on account of his face looking like a piece of taffy stuck to the sole of a boot. Who else? Oh, right, a word of advice. Never play Gascon at cards. He's a hustler, that one. And he tells tall tales. About debts, specifically, ones that I supposedly owe him. And the Reynard fellow. What a jester. Always good for a laugh.
I'm sorry, what?
Every day he barks at me, stand at attention, with a perfectly straight face. And last, he asked asked if I'd served in the Norm Army. I mean, really. Sometimes I just can't with that man.
Very thorough, Barnabas. I thank you. Time I attended to a...
I'm pleased to see you.
Duty calls.
Of course.
โอเคที่9 นาทีเองก็คงจะเล่นต่อเลยดราวเนอร์นะผมกี้เราหลุดไปหน่อยดีกว่าไม่รู้ว่ากี่นาทีแล้วตรงนี้แล้วกันแล้วเดี๋ยวค่อยพักวิดีโอ
Hidden among brambles, Meave watched the Nilfgaardian sentries atop the palisade. In full gear, alert in stance, they looked sharp and ready to defend the stronghold.
Blast!
Meave hissed, for she now knew Red Lobinden would not fall by surprise. A siege would be needed, and it would slow her advance. Yet there was naught she could do, as this was her one road to Angren and to Caldwell. Reynard wiped the sweat from his brow, donned his helmet, and dropped his visor with a tap.
On your command, Your Majesty.
Very well. We mustn't delay. Reynard, our plan of attack. Armoured infantry to lead and take the first salvo upon their breast, scaling ladders to follow. Afterwards...
Masterful. Truly masterful.
Interrupted Gascon.
Yet, despite the mastery, fit to be improved.
How, namely?
Hold back your force. Lie in waiting. I'll take 10 good men and open the gates for you. Wide.
And how do you aim to achieve this?
Asked Reynard.
Knock and claim to be a trinket peddler, I suppose. Or perhaps one of Lebioda's devout disciples.
Must you know every last detail? Where's the fun in that, sir?
There's none in warfare. Never.
Seethed Reynard.
For war is no farce. Your Majesty, he stands no chance. Not the slightest.
None at all, I concur. Yet his eagerness intrigues. Let's see what he can do.
Reynard did not approve of Meave's decision, this was clear. Yet he dared not undermine it. The Queen's blessing now his, Gascon assembled a small force and set off, straight for the stronghold gate.
Lambs to the slaughter,
muttered Reynard, shaking his head.
My Queen, it's not too late. We can always...
Shh! Look.
Already at the gate, Gascon lifted his arm in a gesture of peace, then merrily bantered a bit with the guards. A moment later, the gates jerked into motion.
But how?
No matter. The gate stands open. We must attack!
Meave raced off towards the fortress without even glancing back. She knew well her soldiers would follow.
The strays have come to play! To the last! Yeah!
Again and again and again. jump.
Tell me you jest.
Watch your heads!
God save the Queen!
Fear not. We shall achieve our goal.
Give me a target.
Oh, เพิ่มพื้นที่ให้มันเล่นไม่หรอก
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Notice! All roads lead to Nilfgaard.
Should have listened to me, old lady.
Order will triumph. It must triumph.
Very glad.
Arbalist to your command.
One Red Lobinden for you, my lady. Compliments of the house.
Gascon seemed a fiend as he fought his way to the keep, then single-handedly killed the commander. Suddenly leaderless, the Nilfgaardians laid down their arms.
My, Gascon. Colour me surprised.
Pleasantly so, I trust.
Don't fish for compliments, it doesn't suit you. Besides, you know you deserve both medal and title.
I shall hold you to it, my queen.
In due course. But I must know how. What ruse persuaded the Nilfgaardians to open the gate?
Come, my delightful charms, no ruse.
Oh, I see. Not one to share secrets.
Unremarkable, as I see it. I'd hold my tongue too, were my conscience thus burdened.
I've done naught to hide my shameful past, friend. I was a brigand, indeed, yet...
Do not dare take me for a fool. You know of what I speak.
Yet I don't. Reynard, what is this? What the devils is with you?
Your Grace, in Mahakham, the Nilfgaardian letter we managed to intercept. Consider your offer accepted. Direct Meve and her force to the agreed site. We await their arrival. Your reward shall be as agreed. 'Twas Gascon who told us Caldwell had received Angren to rule. 'Twas Gascon who suggested we ride for Lobinden. Here, the Blackclads willingly opened the gate, for they expected him to deliver a prisoner. You!
Yes. I might have expected as much. When captive, I asked you why you'd chosen to aid me. Your answer was odd and unconvincing.
Maeve!
It's your majesty, you rogue.
What did they promise you? Amnesty? Coin in heaps?
Both. I knew Nilfgaard wouldn't parley with me as a matter of course. To be treated seriously, I needed something they valued. A stroke of luck, it was, the chance to free you from Caldwell's grip. 'Twas in Edern that we first spoke. Then came to an understanding after Rosberg's fall.
Why do I still live then? Why not snatch me under Knight's mantle, drag me to Red Lobinden in chains?
Maeve. I sought to sell you out, I did, and aimed to gain by it. Yet in Edern, you earned my respect. In Mahakham, my admiration. I swore then I wouldn't follow the terms of the accord I'd made. Instead, I'd let you into the fort and make damn sure the Commandant couldn't reveal the truth. Alas, seems I underestimated Reynard.
Flattery will get you knout. You, sir, are a traitor.
Oh, please, friend. You appear to me a pot that calls the kettle black.
Reynard? What does he mean?
I've no notion, Your Grace. Not the slightest.
Truly? Ha! And I had you pegged for a man of honor. Come now, Reynard. Who sent secret missives to Willem? Go on, you really should tell your queen.
What? Reynard?
His Highness guest chambers in Mahakham. One of my lads snuck in. Found a letter bearing the signature of one Reynard Odo.
Reynard, I beg you. Say it's not so. Tell me it's a filthy lie.
Your Grace. I'd hoped His Highness and you would reconcile. To see son stand against mother rent my heart. I wish to help.
Behind my back.
Your Majesty, I sought merely to push the youth to see reason, to open his eyes.
So say you now. Yet I can't know what was in the letters. I can't know what pacts you made. And alas, I can no longer take you at your word.
I'm not alone in having deceived. Yet I am in repairing my wrong.
Meve felt a tempest rise inside her. Yet she could not release it lest it cloud her view. She would solve the problem, strike it from her mind, and resume her journey at once.
Drawn and quartered I should have you both. Yet in truth, I cannot do without your aid. Now more than ever. 'Tis the one reason I show mercy and forgive.
Your Grace, perhaps made with doubt, but 'tis the right decision. I shall prove it. Thank you.
Reynard and I rarely see eye to eye, but under the circumstances, I second his every word.
Oh, shut your damn traps! And I believe you're needed in the wagon train. Now!
The Queen's wish was clear and fierce. Gascon and Reynard slid off, leaving Meve to her thoughts. From the palisades rampart, Meve gazed out over the marshlands across the Aruga. The Queen sighed deeply. She expected great challenges in Angren. She had also expected, even hoped, to find the one traitor in her midst. But two, and both her close aides-de-camp. She felt a weight upon her heart now.
Blast it all.
She muttered.
Not the first dagger I've taken in the back. Likely not the last either. Yet to pity my lot will help not at all.
From the captive Nilfgaardians, Meve learned Caldwell was at Tuzla Castle, in Angren's very heart. A small detachment would remain at Red Lobinden, while the Queen with the rest of her force set off to face the treacherous Count.
Okay.
Mom, I must speak to you when you find a free moment.
ได้ครับ
I'll keep a close eye on him, Mom. Don't you fret. I'll keep a close eye.
Savarut, Nordling, Netamar, Kotef me, sir, Kotef me.
We got Isbelda.
I'm pleased to see you again, Mom. You need something?
You wish to speak with me? In private?
Yes, Mom. I've given thought to certain matters. The time's come to explain and reveal my decisions. I've not been entirely honest, but I've seen you very much deserve the truth. You're brave, wise, and above all, you've a good heart. And thus you're unlike any other ruler I've ever met, had dealings with.
Isbel, what is it you wish to say? You're starting to worry me.
I told you of Sintra and Sodden. Do you recall? It's true, I took part in that war. Yet I fought for the Empire.
What? I'm not certain I understand.
My name is Isbel ep Muirmos, of Nilfgaard. I wish I could say I am from a conquered province. I wish I had that luxury. But no. I hail from the city of the Golden Towers itself.
My. I'd certainly not expected that. Please, tell me more.
I went straight from the academy to the army, as majors do in Nilfgaard. Yet I truly believed our aim to be to build a better world. With our help, the mages, the Emperor conquered realm after realm, right up to the Amal Mountains. Yet he was not sated, and turned his greedy eyes to the north. But the north stood and faced him. I'll never forget the bloodbath he wrought in Sintra. It was unspeakable.
He sought to intimidate us. He united us instead.
Indeed. At Sodden, when chaos engulfed the Imperial army, I saw my chance to flee the madness and begin life anew. And I did just that. I never sought thereafter to rejoin my countrymen or return to my home. Instead, I stayed in the north and swore never again to use my magic to harm others. Yet I cannot stand idle as the Emperor perpetrates atrocity after atrocity. I wish to fight at your side.
All deserve a second chance. Yet from now on, there are to be no more secrets between us.
Certainly. I thank you. You've no idea what this means to me.
Good. Oh, and Isbel. This must stay between us alone. For your own sake.
I appreciate the concern, Mom. But you needn't worry about me. I've lived for some time in the north. And dare say I know how to get by.
Isbel, Destroyer.
The city of the Golden Towers. Don't think I know any soul who's seen it with their own eyes.
Did you know many common folk believe they're made of real gold, the towers? Yet they're named for how the southern sun dances off their rooftops. My family lived in the capital long before Nilfgaard was ever an empire. The city is of great beauty, was always a source of pride, turned arrogance in time. When I was but a lass, my father would take me to the grand amphitheater to watch the gladiators fight. A daughter of Nilfgaard should grow accustomed to the sight of blood, he said. For to conquer the world was our destiny.
Dreadful. You must have hated it.
At the time, I saw nothing wrong in it. I admired the gladiators for their bravery, skill, finesse. Though now it shames me to admit it.
Duty calls. I must go.
Of course.
Isabel เดเมจเมียรันดอมนะครับผมอย่างนี้ดิวะมาเลยโอเคจบวิดีโอแค่นี้